Good evening. We'll call to order this meeting for the City Council of Gahanna on October 6, 2025. If you would please join me and stand as Mr. Weaver delivers the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Thank you. As we come together, may we approach our work with patience and openness of heart. Let us listen not only to respond, but to understand, seeking common ground even when perspectives differ. In doing so, may our shared purpose guide us toward thoughtful and compassionate decisions for the good of our community. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, President Weaver. Mr. Van Meter, would you please call the roll?
Bowers.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
McGregor.
Here.
Padova.
Here.
Renner.
Here.
Schnetzer.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Van Meter. Section B, additions or corrections to the agenda. This evening, we do have two additions under our presentation section. We are very pleased to be joined by the American Legion Post 797 this evening in order to receive the joint resolution proclamation honoring the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall that was here in Gahanna from October 2nd to October 6th. We'd also like to recognize Director of Economic Development, Jeff Gottke, to give a brief presentation at the conclusion of the presentation section on the Creekside redevelopment plan. Are there any other additions or corrections to this evening's agenda? All right. With that, we will move on to our first item this evening, a joint resolution and proclamation presenting to and honoring Killian Sullivan, who is the 2025 Young Birder of the Year. This year, we are celebrating and recognizing Mr. Sullivan in conjunction with World Animal Day and World Habitat Month. Killian is a Gahanna Middle School East student and was recognized by the American Birding Association as the Young Birder of the Year, a national recognition honoring his exceptional skills and leadership in birding. While documenting nearly 700 bird species across the U.S., Killian also founded Buckeye Birding, which enhances education, conservation, and the community enjoyment of birding. One of the things that we like to do is to recognize individuals in Gahanna in conjunction with other months or special times that coincide with each other. And the reason why we chose October to recognize Killian is because it coincides with World Animal Day and World Habitat Month. World Animal Day seeks to uplift humane and ethical care of animals, while World Habitat Month looks at habitat conservation both for humans and for animals across the world. Gahanna has demonstrated its commitment to recreation and conservation across its nature preserves, woods, streams, and our arboretum, and recognizing environmental stewardship through expanding the tree canopy and ensuring green energy aggregation for our residents. So with that, it is our honor to recognize Mr. Sullivan in partnership and in coordination with World Habitat Day and World Animal Month here in the city of Gahanna. If Mr. Sullivan and his family would like to join Council and Mayor Jadwin in front of the dais, we'll go ahead and take a picture and then invite Mr. Killian to deliver a few remarks.
Three, two,
5 years ago, my family traveled to Lake Tahoe in California. We hoped to climb, hike, and enjoy the beautiful mountains and redwoods. Early on our trip, we saw these large blue and black birds at our campground. I asked my parents what they were, but like me, they were unsure. I made some notes, and days later, when we had reception, I borrowed their phone and searched for the common birds of the state. Our guests were Steller's jays. I was hooked on birding. On the cross-country drive home, I wrote a birthday list: binoculars, field guide, and field notebook. My new hobby escalated quickly, in part because of my passion, but also because I had access to amazing resources. Two experienced birders became my mentors, Ben Warner and James Muller. I also had access to terrific parks, including Gahanna Woods and State Nature Preserve. As my skills in the field improved, I began traveling all over the state to see new species and new habitats. Once I had seen all of Ohio's native species, my family traveled across the country and Canada, looking for rocks to climb and birds to see. I've been fortunate to travel to 49 of the 50 states. Thanks to these opportunities, I was able to become the youngest birder to ever see 700 species in the country. Knowing that my success was paved by the lessons and support of others, I figured the best way to show my gratitude was to return the favor. I became active in conservation efforts. In my neighborhood, I researched and produced a local field guide that I printed and delivered to over 200 homes. I built a feeder station, constructed brush piles, and removed invasive honeysuckle to improve the habitat in Gahanna Grove. I also taught a series of birding workshops at Grange Insurance Audubon Center and volunteered as a guide for the largest birding festival in the country, the biggest week in American birding, right here in Northwest Ohio. The birds we hope to see and hear are spectacular. The Arctic tern migrates over 25,000 miles each year. The peregrine falcon can reach speeds of 200 miles per hour, and American crows are known to be smarter than dolphins. They are beautiful and fascinating creatures. They are also resilient. In 1973, there were only 7 bald eagle nests in the state of Ohio. This year, ODNR surveyed 964 nests spanning 87 of Ohio's 88 counties. I often see these iconic birds soaring over my house and fishing in Gahanna's Big Walnut Creek. It is an honor to be invited to this evening's meeting as a celebration of World Animal Month and World Habitat Day. I hope others join me in grabbing binoculars, exploring nature, and protecting the habitats and airways that host these phenomenal birds. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much, Mr. Sullivan. Any comments from Mayor Jadwin this evening?
First of all, Killian, I have to say that there are adults who come into these chambers who are not as articulate as you are. So for you to stand in front of this very crowded room tonight and deliver your comments with such ease is in and of itself quite an accomplishment. I am so incredibly impressed by you. Have you ever seen I wanted to ask you, have you seen the movie about birding? It's like One Great Year or something like that. I want to talk to you later about that because I find it fascinating. But kudos to you, and please keep up the good work. Keep us posted as you continue to find more species. But what an incredible accomplishment. It was a pleasure to recognize you tonight. And congratulations to your family, because we know it takes parents to support that type of effort.
Thank you so much, and your entire community is incredibly proud of you and very supportive of the work that you're doing, and grateful for the attention that you're bringing to this noble and important cause. And if there are any ways that we can continue to be good partners with the environment and with your incredible hobby and passion for birding, please let us know. I did want to take a moment to recognize there are school board members here in attendance this evening, and like I mentioned, your entire community is supportive and very grateful and proud of you, so thank you. All right, with that, let's move on to the second presentation this evening. This evening we have a joint resolution and proclamation honoring the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall that has just concluded its display here in Gahanna, honoring the more than 58,000 service members who gave their lives in service to the United States during the Vietnam War. With that, I'd like to introduce, or I guess I'd like to request that Mayor Jadwin introduce the resolution proclamation and our guest this evening.
Thank you very much, Madam President. For the last 5 days, in case those of you who are watching or here in chambers are not aware, the city of Gahanna was host to the Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall, which brought the names of the fallen closer to home, created a space for remembrance, reflection, and healing, and providing accessibility for those who really can't travel to our nation to see the actual monument. What we had setting up in our VFW park was 3/5 the size of the actual wall. There are 58,470 names engraved on that wall, representing the service members who gave their lives in service during that time. We did look up, we found 2 Gahanna names on that wall as well, and were able to copy their names down and save those as well. But we would not have had such an incredibly moving weekend had it not been for the tremendous work and efforts of the members of our own Gahanna American Legion Post 797. Specifically, I'll call out Gary Felicetta. I know we have Malcolm and Maggie Glasgow here, but Darlene Molitor, was an incredible volunteer coordinator at the last minute. It was such a moving experience to be there. It was clear from the start to the finish how much care, commitment, and consideration went into making it just a respectful experience for all. There were families, students, veterans, community members of all ages who came through that space this past weekend. Some in quiet reflection, others sharing memories, stories, or simply paying tribute, paying their respects to those who gave their lives. The emotion and the gratitude were palpable, and it reminded many of us just how important it is to honor those who served and sacrificed, and particularly those whose names were etched in the memorial. So it is my honor to join with our council members in recognizing American Legion Post 797 for the incredible work that you did over the past year. I know it was a year-long effort of fundraising and coordination and effort to put that event together for this community. And we would just like to thank you and express our deepest gratitude for you, for your service to this country, for your continued service to our community, and for the wonderful, beautiful gift that you just gave to every resident in the city of Gahanna for the last 5 days. If you'd please like to join us.
Three, two, one.
I'd like to thank Mayor Jadwin and all you members of City Council for your support for this effort. It's been 2 years in the making to get the Vietnam Memorial Wall here. Took a lot of fundraising, took a lot of coordinating to get volunteers, and that says volumes to all the Gahanna residents who stepped up to make this project a success. I also want to thank members of Parks and Rec. Without them, we could have not completed this project. They were amazing. And I've thanked every one of them many, many times. I can't imagine how speedy and how fast they helped us put this project together. So once again, I want to thank you all for your support, for the veterans, and for the American Legions. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you again so much to the American Legion Post 797 and to everyone involved with bringing this meaningful event to Gahanna. It was quite a beautiful thing to witness. I was fortunate enough to go last evening, and it was absolutely moving, as Mayor Jadwin said.
Marissa, could I say?
Yes, please.
Could I say something?
Yes.
I have a problem with walking right now, so I wasn't able to go down, but, every one of those names on that wall represents a life cut short. And my father, my father-in-law, my husband, all three of my sons, and now 2 grandchildren have been in the military. And when they sign on that line and they take that oath, they pledge to support the country with everything up into their life and to give all, and if needed. And that's 58,000 young men and women who did that. And I really thank you for bringing that wall to the city. Thank you.
Well, thank you again. Our third presentation this evening is going to transition us into more of the content of our meeting agenda this evening. And with that, we'd like to welcome Director Jeff Gottke, Economic Development Director Jeff Gottke, to give a brief overview of the Creekside Reimagined projects.
Not only am I not as articulate as Killian, I also don't know how to use PowerPoint. So I'll try to make this brief, but thanks for the invitation. I understand it's a little bit like that insurance commercial, like life comes at you fast, right? There's a lot of data. There's a lot to understand about these projects, so having this short extra time to do that, I think, will be clarifying for you as well as for the public as well. So I just wanted to reiterate to council and the public just the basic facts of each project and do a little bit of level setting so that we're kind of all operating under the same set of facts. So I mentioned projects. So there's 2 separate projects that's very important to understand. One public, one is a city project. So up there on my slide in the red box, that is the Creekside development. Everything that's outside in the red box, not highlighted in blue, is the plaza. That is the plaza revitalization project that is undertaken and will be paid for by the city. It involves flood mitigation work, plaza revitalization, all on city-owned and controlled property. Improvements will bring into compliance with FEMA standards, prevent further flood damage, but also increase visibility of the plaza to the public, add amenities, and be generally more user-friendly than it currently is. The goal for that is, one, not only to bring us into compliance with FEMA standards, but to create a reason for people to come to the plaza, to do more things, and to stay longer and hopefully patronize local businesses. The second project is the private project. So that is the other sets of boxes. So the green outlined is phase 1. The orange outlines are phase 2. We'll talk about each briefly. So phase 1 will happen first. It's mixed use, 263 apartments, a 55 to 70 room hotel, 2 restaurants, and a self-parked parking structure. Phase 2, which will happen after Phase 1, is a townhome component on High Street. So as for funding, this is privately financed. The developers that were chosen and vetted and negotiated with are pledging $100 million of their own money, their own equity, investors, loans, etc. So they believe there is a market for this project in Gahanna. They believe in Gahanna. They believe in you, they believe in us, and they're willing to spend $100 million doing it. The goal of this project is to bring more people in a concentrated area into Creekside. And there's really like three types, right? You could have workers, which is covered in the existing Creekside development and the surrounding businesses. You can have more residents, which will be covered in the apartment units and the townhouses. And you can have more visitors, which will be covered via the hotel. So we're addressing two of the three ways to bring more people to a downtown. And that's important because you'll see how they're complementary with the public portion, because now you've got more people down there during the day regularly, and now they're staying longer at the plaza, doing more things, supporting local businesses. So they're separate projects, but they complement each other. The construction will be primarily of a modular design. The developer builds the modular units, the apartment units off-site, and then they're brought on-site and put together and finished there. This is important because they can build it faster off-site in a factory and bring it in. They can build it cheaper, it reduces costs because it's all in one place, and it reduces construction waste, which is environmentally friendly. They are also built to meet LEED standards as well. So I mentioned they'll be built in separate phases. So I said there's two, one first on Mill Street, second, the townhouses on High Street. Phase 2 will begin after Phase 1. And what's important for you all is that the land transfer for the High Street properties will happen after the land transfer for the Mill Street properties, so that that parking lot, which is a concern of many people, will be retained locally for a period of time, and that the disruption will be not immediate while we work to find a solution for the loss of those about 65 total parking spaces. And then lastly, we have performance guarantees built into the development agreement so that the developer has to meet certain standards, or either the property reconveys back to the city or CIC, again, to prevent a default and vacant, like a half-built project just sort of foundering, as well as to encourage timely and efficient development of projects. So a lot still to do. This is the development agreement. There'll be creations of a TIF and NCA Planning Commission review, which addresses things like height, setbacks, parking, design standards, engineering review and approvals, traffic impacts, utility demand, stormwater impacts, et cetera. And that's all just at the local level. Because this is a commercial construction project, you have some state involvement as well. So how can you and the public stay involved? Our third public engagement session is this Thursday on the plaza from 4 to 7. It'll be open house style, so the public can come and get questions answered as they see fit, and they don't have to sit through another presentation. October 13th, here, a committee meeting. October 20th, here, another council meeting. Soon there will be a website, but in the meantime, they can email creekside@gahanna.gov with questions. And those emails are monitored, and they will be responded to. So, thank you.
Thank you, Director Gottke. All right. That concludes our presentation portion of this evening's agenda, so we will move on to hearing of visitors, and I will be calling you up in the order in which I received the speaker slip. As you know, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes for your remarks, and as has been the practice, we unfortunately cannot entertain extensions of that 3-minute at this time, but you are welcome to follow up with an email to council@gahanna.gov. With that, our first speaker slip is from Mr. McClurg.
Thank you, City Council and Mayor Jadwin. My points are around the Creekside development. I went to the 24th meeting and had some questions. So I still think we ought to keep the parking lot by the sanctuary used for the Jazz and Blues Festival. It's also parking for the sanctuary, also used for a lot of events downtown. It would be nice if we could somehow convince some of the people that close their business at 5 o'clock to allow their parking lots to be used, either on a paying basis or something like that, because there's a lot of places down there that just sit empty and the business is closed. I like the hotel in Gahanna to bring guests, but I think it should be on the creek side. We have a beautiful creek that runs through our town, and we could have a restaurant in there that would overlook the creek. I don't think putting it on the other side of the street, stuck in there with the apartments, is a really good place to have a hotel. If you're gonna make a boutique, why not have a nice view out onto our creek? Also, what will the bridge look like that's gonna be built across the street to get from the parking garage to the hotel? Is it gonna be something simple, or is it going to be something flashy like they have at the Hilton down in Columbus, where it has colors and changes and you can do things with it? I think that would be something that would draw people's attention to downtown. I'm also interested in the cost to repair the flooding in Creekside compared to new improvement cost. That was kind of packaged as one thing, not as two separate things. So I mean, how much more are we paying to improve down there over what we have to do to correct things down there? Also, on the original build of Creekside, it didn't address the flooding, which I wondered if there's any recourse to the original builder, whether there was any kind of guarantees. I mean, when I had my house built, I had a 30-year structural guarantee on my basement. So I wondered if there's any recourse there. And what guarantees do we have for the fixes and the improvements we're going to make to not be in the same boat, down the road? The other thing, will the improvements to Creekside help with the existing high rents and lack of development and the current owner of the buildings that are in the A and B that are under the parking or over the parking garage? With the current owner, we really don't have any control. And the other thing was, if Gahanna is buying the buildings through the CIC Corp., will they then sell them to the apartment hotel developer at the same price or retain ownership on what goes there? I thought Gahanna wanted to buy the property so we could control what goes there, not through other means. And the last thing is,
Thank you,
I
Mr.
hope that the
McClurg.
opening of 825 is as successful as the Resch's opening.
Thank you, Mr. McClurg. Could you please state your name and address?
Tim McClurg, 935 Leaf Lock.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Our next speaker slip is from Mrs. Arlene Sheik.
Good evening. Arlene Sheik, 1410 Sedgefield Drive, here in Gahanna. I would like to commend the mayor and everybody who's been involved with the planning of the redevelopment of Creekside. I have been a resident 8 years in Gahanna and am very appreciative of the way that the public has opportunity to be involved in a long-term process. I know people have worked very hard for, I think, about 2 years on this. I would like to acknowledge the planning of apartments that would include 10% that is not the market typical rates, but being able to include lower-income people for some of the units. And I think that this is a great precedent. So I thank you for your work, and I'll look forward to learning more and seeing how more develops.
Thank you, Ms. Sheik. Our next speaker slip is Chris Corder.
Chris Corder, 184 Brook Hill Drive. I just came down here. I saw the plans that you guys had. I've been a resident of Gahanna since 2021, but I've been involved with the city since, I want to say, 2013, when I became a member of VFW Post 4719. I was really impressed with the plans, but one of the things that I do have some concerns with, the first one deals with a little bit of the parking. I think that we're going to have some time to figure that out through phase 2 to address some of that parking. But one of my more long-term concerns deals with the TIF that's being established, especially with there being discussion of potentially axing property taxes altogether in the state of Ohio. So as you're going through and working on the ordinance and working with the developers, I would hope that you would consider, is there some sort of recourse if that TIF planning completely falls apart? Otherwise, great plan, everything, it looks fantastic. It's better than my wildest dreams. So thank you guys all for your work and for everything that you guys are doing for the city.
Thank you, Mr. Corder. The last speaker slip I have this evening is Justin Yaffanaro. Did I do okay?
Justin Yaffanaro, 694 Kenilworth Court. I'm also here about the Creekside District. I also think it's a great plan. And I think this is the exact type of development that's needed in a place like Gahanna. We need mid-size, small-size buildings that increase the amount of vibrancy of an area. You need people to do that. And if you don't have people in an area, you can't have local businesses. The best way to keep a local business open is to let people walk there. And this is exactly what it's going to do for Creekside. I think the parking concerns, obviously they're real. People need places to park. But if you put a bunch of people who live in the area, they can walk to the rest of the Creekside businesses and events. So there's not really an increase in the amount of parking that's needed because of something like this. And losing a pretty small parking lot can be pretty easily mitigated in the long term with either additional parking, an additional garage, or even modifying the current plan to add additional parking. But I think overall it's better to have something like a townhome, which I think really fits the area and is the exact right kind of housing for an area like downtown Creekside. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Yaffanaro. All right. Are there any other speaker slips this evening, Mr. Van Meter?
None.
Okay, thank you. That concludes our hearing of visitors portion of this evening's agenda. Mr. McClurg, we'll have to talk to Mayor Jadwin about donuts at the 825 grand opening, but I'm sure we can do something about that.
I'm just saying that it's very successful. Now, hopefully, you guys won't, circus around opening it like the Russians did. July, August, September, October.
All right, we'll have Director Schultz on that. Our next section this evening is our consent agenda. We do have one ordinance for second reading. Mr. Van Meter, would you please read Ordinance 39 into the record?
Ordinance 0039-2025, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into a temporary construction easement with Columbia Gas of Ohio, Inc.
Thank you, Mr. Van Meter. With that, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
So moved, Madam President.
I have a first by Mr. Schnetzer,
Second.
second by Mr. Weaver. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Van Meter, would you please call the roll?
Schnetzer?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
McGregor?
Yes.
Padova?
Yes.
Renner?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes. Motion carries and the consent agenda is adopted as published. Section F, resolutions. We have one item this evening, Resolution 44-2025, a resolution authorizing the city attorney to enter into the secondary manufacturer's settlement. This is a first impression. This did not come before us on committee of the whole, and so I'd like to, before entertaining a first or a second, I'd like to turn it over to the city attorney to introduce this item.
Thank you. My apologies that this did not make it to committee. There was some confusion about some upcoming opioid settlements that needed participation forms. I was under the impression that one form was sufficient, but there are separate forms for this one. This is in relationship to secondary manufacturers, whereas the first one is a primary manufacturer, Purdue Direct. So this is a variety of the secondary manufacturers, but it would still be opioid settlement funds with the same restrictions as the other funds.
Thank you, City Attorney Tam Larison. Are there any questions? Is there a first to adopt Resolution 44?
So moved.
I have a first by Mr. Schnetzer and a second by Mr. Weaver. Any discussion on this item? All right, hearing none. Mr. Van Meter, would you please call the roll?
Schnetzer?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
McGregor?
Yes.
Padova?
Yes.
Renner?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
And the motion carries. Resolution 44 is adopted. Section G, ordinances for introduction and first reading. Mr. Van Meter, would you please read ordinances 41, 42, and 43 into the record?
Ordinance 0041-2025, an ordinance accepting Crescent Circle ST 1111 public roadway, stormwater, and domestic water public infrastructure improvements. Ordinance 0042-2025, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a development agreement with Connect Realty LLC, Benson Capital LLC, and the Gahanna Community Improvement Corporation for the redevelopment of the vacant and blighted properties in the Creekside District. Ordinance 0043-2025, an ordinance adopting the 2026 through 2030 City of Gahanna Capital Improvement Plan, superseding all prior capital improvement plans and providing for a future sunset.
Thank you, Mr. Van Meter. Just as a reminder to council members, Ordinance 43-2025, the Capital Improvement Plan, still has an opportunity for further discussion. If you would please communicate questions to Director Schultz by Wednesday, the 8th, it would be greatly appreciated. Section H, correspondence and actions. Mr. Van Meter, do you have anything for us this evening?
Nothing this evening.
And as far as council goes, we do have our latest council newsletter that is published on the agenda and can be accessed through the hyperlink. This is also available through to sign up through the gahanna.gov/list link that is also on the website. And for folks who would like to receive this once every 2 months, it does give a great review of efforts that not just council members, but also our council office have been up to. Are there any other items in correspondence and actions from my colleagues this evening? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to representatives. We'll start with the Community Improvement Corporation, Councilman Renner and Councilwoman Padova.
Good evening. So CIC met on October 24th in the morning, very early at 7:30. Monthly financials are normal and have no notes. The work on the Anfield House is in progress of being completed. There was discussion of the future of the Harry Bauer House. Jeff Gottke shared that the Economic Development Department has been exploring options to relocate the home to another parcel. If that's not possible, they are also exploring removing architectural finishing and finding a location, ways to honor the home former owner. The board went into executive session at 8:19 a.m. And then exited at 8:51 a.m. Mayor Jadwin invited members of the CIC to attend the Reimagined Creekside event, and then we adjourned at 8:57.
Thank you, Mr. Renner. Do you have a subsequent meeting date?
October 21st is the next meeting date.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, Councilman Weaver.
Thank you, Madam President. First, thank you to Council Office for their assistance in the preparation of the report, as always. The highlight for this evening's report was the Summit on Sustainability, which was held on September 30th. Morpsey hosted leaders from around the region to discuss community-driven projects and engagement opportunities that would advance Central Ohio's environmental goals. A variety of sessions that explored practical initiatives from solar-powered air monitors, tree canopy tools, underscoring the importance of working with development to align economic growth with quality of life, very timely. Discussion also included Ohio's HB 15, which aims to balance surging energy demand, utility transparency, and consumer affordability. Congratulations to our own Mayor Jadwin on her Pecha Kucha presentation. 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide, correct? And discussing her, your journey to sustainability from Pittsburgh.
Mine and Gahanna's journey, yes,
Yes.
tied together.
Yes. So congratulations on a job well done, Madam Mayor. And the day's keynote reinforced the role of partnerships and innovation in addressing climate barriers, providing timely insights relevant to Gahanna's own sustainability work. The next meeting of the commission will be this Thursday, and I believe that will be all from this evening's report, but lots of goodies in there, so feel free to take a look.
I'm just very entertained that Swaco has a podcast called Wasted. That's the highlight of my evening. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Let's see, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Councilwoman Padova.
Thank you. Visit Gahanna was awarded a Ruby Award last week at the Ohio Travel Association's Tourism Conference. Ruby stands for Recognizing Uncommon Brilliance Yearly. This is a great achievement with a record number of submissions from all over the state this year. They also received 4 citations of excellence, which is essentially like a runner-up award. So congratulations to the CVB on that. The CVB has also been working on a welcome discount card that includes 15 local businesses. Each one has this different discount on it, which are really nice discounts for people staying in our hotels here in Gahanna. Just encouraging people to get out and explore our restaurants rather than going, restaurants and businesses and going, spending their money in Gahanna rather than leaving Gahanna and going to other areas. So they're also doing little lavender sachets on pillows to recognize the significance of Gahanna being the herb capital. Also, mark your calendars for the holiday lights, which will be the Sunday before Thanksgiving. We will be looking for volunteers, so you can go to Visit Gahanna to learn more about that. And that's all for me.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Padova. School Board Liaison, Councilwoman Jones.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind colleagues and community of upcoming board meetings. October 9th is a board workshop meeting. October 14th is Finance and Facilities, and October 16th is the regular board meeting. Each of those are at 6:30 at Clark Hall. And then save the date for January 10th, the unveiling of the new high school for the community. More information to come specifically on times, but pencil that in for all of us to cut the ribbon and celebrate the new building. And I believe that's all I have for this evening.
Great. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Jones. Official reports, Mayor Jadwin.
Thank you very much. I'd like to once again thank Gary Felicetta and the members of American Legion Post 797. I also forgot to mention the Gahanna Lions Club, who were there for the last 5 days, 24/7, and to the host of many volunteers for providing an experience that brought our city together in a truly powerful and deeply human way. We're proud to have you as part of our community and grateful for the meaningful impact that you made for all of us this weekend. And Mr. Felicetta back there, I appreciated your kind words about our Parks and Recs department. I will be sure to share those words with them. I know that they were very proud to be part of that project as well. As Councilman Weaver has just shared and previously shared, I was incredibly honored to have been asked to speak at Morpsey's Summit on Sustainability held last week. I had the privilege of addressing a room of more than 750 community leaders, professionals, advocates from across the region. It was both humbling and energizing to be part of such a passionate group. everyone focused on building a more sustainable and resilient community to take back for themselves, for their own communities. Given that my challenge was to present 20 slides in 20 seconds, anyone who knows me knows that it was incredibly nerve-wracking because I can't talk about anything for just 20 seconds. So that was the hardest part of the whole thing, was trying to get those 20 seconds down. But I did have the chance in that presentation to share not just our city's progress and our ongoing work in sustainability, but a little bit of my personal journey in this space. And it was really meaningful to be able to reflect on how far we've come here in Gahanna. From the early steps back in 2017 when we first became a Sustainable 2050 member, to now being a Gold Plus Equity Champion member, and the steps we continue to take forward in making a cleaner, greener Gahanna for everyone. And I know that that is a passion of everyone sitting up here, so I appreciate everybody's partnership and the collaborative work we've been doing in that space. Thank you to the residents who came today to offer comments on the Creekside projects that we've been discussing. Appreciated your inputs, some good things to consider. Again, I'll reiterate Mr. Gocke's comment that we have our next public engagement session this Thursday, which is October 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Creekside Plaza. It'll be much like the Our Gahanna engagement session that we held there. So we'll have boards up and really open house so folks can come up and ask questions. We can share information and hope to hopefully dispel any misperceptions or provide some additional clarification to the extent people have questions as well. We've appreciated everybody who's shown up. We've had 3 public engagement sessions thus far and have appreciated everyone's participation, have gotten great feedback there, as well as questions that are coming in at creekside@gahanna.gov. As Director Gocke also shared, there is a website currently being built out. We expect that. We had hoped to have that done this week. It may not be till next week based on our call this afternoon. But as soon as we have that available as well, which will share links to all of the meetings we've had, renderings and things like that, we'll be publicizing that. And then just a few upcoming events. Next Saturday, the 18th, I believe Make Gahanna Yours is hosting a litter pickup, which is also a great time to add to that sustainability initiative, help keep our parks and areas clean. Friday, October 24th is the Great Gahanna Goblin Fest, followed by Saturday the 25th, our Shred and E-Recycle Day here at City Hall, with Trick or Treat being on October 30th. And for more details and other events, you can go to the homepage at gahanna.gov. And Mr. McClurg unfortunately took my closing words were, Resch's is open. So, and they were sold out today by 4:30. So get there early and get there often.
Great. Thank you. City Attorney Tamala Larison.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank Council for passage of the resolution today for the other opioid settlement funds. And just as an update on litigation that the city is involved in, we did have a resolution to sign on to an amicus brief in regards to an issue that was arose out of Cincinnati regarding some property issues. And so oral arguments are scheduled in that case for December 9th of this year, and then hopefully I'll have further updates after that. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney Tamala Larison. All right, we'll start with council comment with Councilwoman McGregor.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman McGregor. And thank you for your earlier comments reflecting on the sacrifice that many service members gave in the Vietnam War. Councilwoman Jones.
Thank you. Just quickly to reiterate my appreciation to the American Legion Post for the traveling memorial wall. I had the honor of seeing it in DC years ago when I was very young, and just to be able to see that replicated in our community was truly a gift, so thank you. Congratulations again to Mr. Sullivan and family. You shared so many cool facts that I had no idea, so you're a wealth of information. Thank you, and I look forward to having future conversations, learning more about what you do, so thank you. And thank you to the residents for being here. Doing what we do is truly a partnership between the administration and the community, and we can't do what we do without hearing from the residents, and we appreciate the folks who take the time to come to share your thoughts, your concerns, your feedback, and have those conversations in person. So we appreciate that, and thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jones. Councilwoman Padova.
Thank you. It feels like it's been a while since we've done this. We had a fifth Monday in there. But I don't believe that we have been here since the Mill Street Market. So I want to give a quick shout out to the Historical Society and everyone who helped with that for putting on the Mill Street Market. It was excellent. The weather was great. Lots of vendors, lots of cool things there. Also, thank you to the Historical Society for helping to promote the Good Neighbor Day. Also, the library who helped promote that the day before. It was really cool to see their signage and the different books that they had picked out for story time, and having the craft table there for the kids, encouraging them to go with their grown-ups and meet their neighbors. Also, Stony Brook Early Learning Center was able to send those coloring sheets home, saying hi neighbor for the kids to color, and encouraging them to take their color them and take them and deliver them to a neighbor and meet some new neighbors. So hopefully some connections were made across the city with those initiatives. Also was able to go to the MORPC Summit on Sustainability. Being my fourth year now in office, it was my fourth one. And I feel like each year I'm learning a little bit more and more. And then this year I felt like this is lining up with the things that I am doing in my life now that I've been going to all of these, and really enjoyed the morning session about involving youth and sustainability, and wanted to give a shout out to Killian because that's exactly what you're doing too by raising the awareness of the birds that are flying around and what we need to do to continue having such a variety of birds. I get very excited when I just see my few hummingbirds and have been getting sad that I'm seeing less and less of them and almost none of them now. But appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully we can all do our part to keep that up for you. The afternoon session, I got to hear from Circular Thrift out of Bexley, which is doing a lot on trying to fight some of the fast fashion and reusing some of our clothing. And then before I could even get to trying to figure out how to set up a clothing swap, our friends at Collective Home Supply were already on it and just announced over the weekend that they are doing a clothing swap on October 18th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So they will be posting more information on how to drop off your clothes, how it's all going to work, all of that here shortly. So stay tuned to their social media page so that we can all do our part with being sustainable and the things that we wear as well. So I think I've said enough. So thank you all for being here this evening and all of your comments on Creekside, and appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Padova. Mr. Renner.
Yeah, I too want to join in the chorus. Hats off to the VFW for all of your work and bringing the miniature wall to our city. I too, like Councilwoman Jones, I did travel with my family when I was quite small, and I actually got to see the wall. My mother had two classmates that are on that wall, and so she taught us about rubbing and keeping those names. My hat's off to Killian. Thank you so very much for that speech and your ecological knowledge on birds. May you please progress on that and mature that idea. And, you know, I too also attended the MORPC Sustainability Summit on Sustainability, and it was really interesting. I think Councilman Weaver mentioned it. The theme this year was actually local roots. What we can actually do here at home. The nut house that's happening at the national level, if we forget about it and actually talk about what we can actually do in the strength of community. And I think that's actually the really good theme. And Mayor, you, in your speech, you really talked about it. You honed in at the community level. And tonight, there's a joining and a nexus, if you will, in my mind, because we're taking a step back and we're remembering those who had fallen at one of the wars. And it's very, very important that we do so. But we also need to pivot and turn and look forward to progress as a society. And that is why we are up here, right? And, back to reflecting about what's happening at the national level, and believe me, I'm dealing with it daily at the county, and so forgive me for, speaking out of turn like this, but it's infuriating to see the injustice and to see our Constitution ripped apart. And we are the community that's actually supposed to build something better. And so I feel like that sustainability and local roots is probably where we need to start. And rebuilding back again and asking ourselves what it is to be an American.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Renner. Mr. Schnetzer.
Nothing to add this evening, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schnetzer. Mr. Weaver.
All right, thank you, Madam President. First, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you to everyone who took the time to share your comments and thoughts. Also appreciate everyone who's been reaching out via email or just pulling us aside when we're out and about. So thank you very much. Want to add my congratulations to Mr. Sullivan. Thank you for your words this evening. I definitely learned a lot, but I also want to give the kudos to your family for joining you and for all the support that they give you so that you can follow your passions as well. Thank you as well to the Historical Society. Enjoyed visiting the Mill Street Market. It was our son's first market, so he just turned 4 months, so starting to get brave taking him out, and we thought Mill Street Market was a great opportunity. So also want to add my thanks to American Legion Post 797, the Lions Club, Parks and Rec, and all the volunteers. Had the opportunity to visit yesterday morning. Having been to the memorial in DC several times, it never gets less powerful, it never gets less impactful, and this was every bit as moving and impactful. I lingered for a bit just watching the other visitors come through, and just a whole range of experiences that were very personal or tied through family, but all deeply felt. And you just get this sense of awe, and thank you, Mrs. McGregor, for really framing the context as well. Thank you is all I can say. Before I take a little moment of personal privilege here, I will just announce that I will be holding a constituent hour on Thursday, October 16th, from 6:30 to 7:30 in the lobby conference room. As we enter October and as September comes to an end, so does National Suicide Prevention Month. Tragedy has once again touched the greater Gahanna community. Another family is without their father, their son, their husband, their brother, and many of us are without a friend. Often we say we had no idea when someone takes their own life. So I would encourage you to please check in with your friends, your family, your loved ones, even those you would never suspect are not doing okay. And if you are struggling, or if you know someone who is struggling, please reach out or contact the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 988. If you want to help and you don't know how to help, please check out NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or reach out to any one of our first responders who'd be happy to help however they can. And that is all for me, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weaver. Just very briefly, again, my thanks to everyone who joined us this evening. It's wonderful to have a full chambers for this evening. This There are a number of major projects on the horizon here in Gahanna, and we do appreciate the all-hands-on-deck mentality from so many aspects and corners of our community. I want to just, I guess, emphasize again what Councilwoman Jones said, that this truly is a partnership, and I know that all 7 of us feel that way and take that very seriously. So thank you for being in partnership with us. Thank you for coming out and sharing your thoughts. I think that the TIF question and the impact of potential future legislation or ballot initiatives is something that definitely warrants consideration and exploration. And rest assured, a lot of this is about building confidence with the community that we're looking at this, that we're addressing collateral consequences and making sure that we're identifying potential unintended consequences, and perhaps those could be positive things as well. So continuing to work on that while we build connections and build community all together. So with that, we'll conclude this evening's agenda. We have an executive session scheduled this evening for council members to discuss applications received for members of boards and commissions. We will not be taking any legislative action following that executive session this evening. So we will be concluding our meeting following exiting out of the executive session. So with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to go into executive session under authority of Section 5.40A of the Council Rules of Procedure to consider the appointment of public employees or officials. Is there a first?
So moved.
I have a first by Mr. Schnetzer and a second by Mr. Renner. Any discussion? Okay. Mr. Van Meter, would you please call the roll?
Schnetzer?
Yes.
Renner?
Yes.
Padova?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
McGregor?
Yes.
Motion carries, and council members will meet back in the law library. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening.